What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Dad Needs to Talk. I'm your host, Robert, and today I have a very jam-packed episode. So I am very excited because today we're going to be talking about me becoming a great uncle since the last time I did a main episode. Lots of dope new manga have come out. A couple of cool games coming out. One of my recent favorites also getting shut down and lots of other news and stuff. So, as always, if this is your first time here, then welcome. But if you're a returning listener and or watcher, then welcome back. Y'all know here at Daddy's to Talk, it's all about fatherhood and family, manga, anime, TV shows, movies, and of course, video games. So, I hope everybody out there is doing well. Like I said, it's been a couple of weeks, which, well, I'll touch on that a little bit, but I was gonna say, like, obviously, life has been lifing, as it always is for me. I always got stuff going on, but I do kind of want to try to put a better foot forward on being consistent because even though, yes, I might not have the biggest platform and the biggest reach at the moment, I do also very much appreciate those of you that do tune in and listen to the podcast and new episodes, reviews, etc. I might do whatever. I do support or I do appreciate those of y'all that do support. So I want to make sure I'm also doing my best from my side and not just, leaving you guys like, man, when is Rob going to record again? Because obviously, life happens, but I do enough and I kind of need to structure things accordingly to keep a steady feed of stuff coming. Even if I might be busy, y'all might not need to know that I'm always busy. It's okay, hey, this week it's just going to be a review or whatever the case may be, whatever. So, but like I said, got some things I'm trying to line up and tighten up and stuff. So, but yeah, but here we are. And I guess since I'm mentioning that or whatever, I'll just say kind of up top. Also, anybody that's interested, if you're new here, I always do timestamps for everything. So if you want to jump ahead to one of the many topics or discussions or whatever I have planned for today, especially like I said with some of the manga and games and stuff, whatever, check the description for that stuff, whatever. So, but I do kind of up front want to give a shout out to some people out there in the podcasting community and stuff. So first off, I want to give a shout out to the dude named is Shad. He is the host of the Side Quest Hustle podcast. Now, Shad is also a fellow father. Recently, he just started his podcast. I think he's about 8 or so episodes in. Finally got a chance to like circle back. I think I had listened to like the initial like episode 0, like introduction episode a while back, but recently got a chance to listen to a couple of episodes, which then, brought me back to somebody I've worked with for a long time and also introduced me to some new people. But like I said, I definitely want to give a shout out to Shad up front, man. You're doing a awesome job on the podcast, so keep doing your thing. Like I said, it is called the Side Quest Hustle Podcast. So go check him out. Branching off from there, got to give a shout out to my homie Scuba Steve and everybody over at Inside the Mind of a Blerd / Blerd Mind Productions. Because I know y'all been very busy over there working with everything from the Wake the Dead webtoon / physical release / audiobook. I got a lot of stuff going on with that, along with your normal podcast and payback and all this stuff. So much love to everybody over there. Uh, Thanks to Shad, I got introduced to a very dope podcast couple. Their podcast is called I Married a Weeb podcast. Very awesome, wholesome, funny couple who are also newer parents, I would say, because they just had a newborn like a couple months ago. as well as an older child that's like a couple years old or whatever. So, but just wanted to send some shout out to them because they were a guest on Shaz's Side Quest Hustle podcast. So I got a chance to get introduced to them through that, and they've been very fun to listen to. And then, of course, the OGs in the community. Shout out to Mike and Sine over at Blanime Podcast. They came back after a very long hiatus, and I love that they are both now in their parent era because obviously Mike has already been a dad for a few years now. I think his daughter, I think she's about to turn 4 maybe or close to it. And then Sine became a mother, I think it was last year, so I think her son just turned 1 recently, whatever. So, but yeah, shout out to them. Like I said, I've always loved and enjoyed their show, but now having the added flavor of both of them being parents and stuff has added a extra fun dynamic to the show and stuff. So, but moving on from there. So with me, like I said up top, since last time I recorded the podcast, whatever, and of course I try to be careful speaking on, pregnancies and expected births and all that stuff, whatever, just because, life is so unpredictable and stuff nowadays that I try not to jump the gun too much on a lot of situations. So it's very tough for me to keep these things close to the vest. But my oldest niece, which is my brother's oldest daughter, she had her son, Adonis, back in, I think, like mid-August. So I officially became a great uncle. And it is very funny because for those of y'all that might remember, I've mentioned before, I first became an uncle when I was 4 years old. So my oldest nephew is about to turn 30 in October. And so his younger sister, which is my oldest niece, she's about to turn 25. And funny enough, they both share the same birthday, 5 years apart, same day. Crazy stroke of luck. Then my sister-in-law managed to pull off double birth 5 years apart. But yeah, so shout out to my niece, my lovely mini-me niece Tyra, and the birth of her son, healthy baby boy. So I'm now a great uncle. And continuing on that trend, last weekend I went to a gender reveal for another niece of mine. My sister's oldest daughter is also expecting, and we just found out that she is expected to have a girl, but that baby is many months away. That baby's not expected until maybe January or so. But it was still a very awesome time to be with family, to see my niece, because last time I saw her was 5 months ago, like maybe like a few weeks to a month before she found out that she was expecting at the time. So it was definitely very interesting seeing my beautiful niece, who obviously I've known from the time she was a baby, watching her grow up, and now, on the path to motherhood herself. Definitely, warmed my heart getting to see her, and of course all her siblings, my other nephews and my niece and stuff, and my brother-in-law. And it was just kind of a beautiful time to be with family, to celebrate the moment and stuff, but also a time for me to reflect, of course, because most of y'all know that know the origins of this podcast. This is the niece who is the daughter of my sister that passed away 4 years ago. So it was also kind of like a bittersweet cycle of life type of moment and stuff. So seeing my brother-in-law with all 4 of my nieces and nephews, of their kids and stuff, in this moment. So just definitely wish my sister could be here, because I know she would be a very awesome grandmother. But yeah, so like I said, that it was very awesome getting a chance to go see and spend time with them. And speaking of this niece in particular, so obviously I wouldn't be doing my job as Uncle Robert if my nieces and nephews didn't grow up to be nerds and stuff themselves. And obviously, we played video games and stuff all growing up and watched like a regular show and Adventure Time and Avatar: The Last Airbender. Those are kind of like our main three stronghold shows that we all grew up watching together and stuff. So my niece, Miss Sarah, called me about a week or so ago. They were just checking in on dear old Uncle Robert, just catching up and stuff, whatever. And I found out that apparently my niece has secretly been on a anime binge uh, for quite a while, unbeknownst to me, even despite us having seen each other a couple of times and talked to each other a couple of times. And so it was just very awesome just being in this moment and just hearing her gush and talk about all of these anime. And so I'm gonna kind of just run down this list because I was like I gotta make note of most of the stuff that she's shouted out or whatever. So she's already gone through two of the big three in the last couple of years. So, and for context, her boyfriend, he's also a big anime fan, so that kind of helped nudge her on the path. But she, over the last couple of years, she had started and finished all of Naruto and Shippuden. So, whole series done, and I think she even started a little bit of Boruto. She finished all of OG Bleach and is current with the 1,000 Year Blood War arc, which is insane. She also last year started One Piece after watching the One Piece live action series, which has been cited a lot over the last year as being kind of like the gateway of getting people to actually try the series. So she watched the live action series last year, really enjoyed it, and then finally jumped into the anime, and she is already in Wano. Which is freaking insane that that she's freaking gone through close to 1,000 episodes within this last year. But super dope. But it was just so awesome actually getting to have very in-depth conversations with my niece about One Piece and all these different series and talking about like lore and world building. It was fantastic. I was just smiling ear to ear the whole time I was on the phone. So that was truly a very special moment for me, hearing my niece talk about this stuff. What else? So like I said, One Piece. She also mentioned that she's watched Gurren Lagann not just once, but at least 3 times. That's how much she has enjoyed it, which is very dope. She watched all of Fullmetal Alchemist and I think Brotherhood as well. She's caught up on Spy Family. She's caught up on Black Butler. She watched all of Parasite Maxim. She watched Erased. She watched, now this is the one I almost fell out of my seat. She even watched Shangri-La Frontier. Shangri-La Frontier. That is a Uncle Robert pick if I couldn't call one. So when she was going through all the ones, I was like, like a lot of them, it was like, okay, old school, the big three, Spy Family, da da da. And then like I said, when she started getting to like Parasite and then Erasing, and she was like Shangri-La, I was like, whoa. And the last few she has on here as well, Solo Leveling, Beastars, and Hunter x Hunter. So Uncle Robert is just over the moon with joy, and knowing that this incoming great niece of mine will be in good hands with the anime influence and stuff. So, but yeah, it was just a truly special phone conversation to have with her, which I should have suspected as well because my other niece, her younger sister, who is 16, I mentioned probably like a couple years back on the podcast about how she's really deep into reading manga and stuff, whatever. So I should have known like there'd be some connection and stuff there. But yeah, super awesome, super happy to have gotten to catch up with my niece and talk anime and stuff. So, last life thing I did over the weekend was my oldest son turned 16. So, just had a nice family dinner. He wanted to go out to eat, so we went out to eat as a family. He invited one of his best friends with him. We just went out, had a great time, ate good, and then yeah, just chilled out. You know, he really didn't want too much for his birthday. Obviously, he wanted NBA 2K, so I got him the new 2K expensive edition or whatever. Um, I'm trying to think, it was something else, but yeah, but he's happy. Like I said, he's freaking 16 years old. You know, I asked my wife, I was like, man, how does it feel being a mother for 16 years and stuff? So, but yeah, all in all, super great family time. So, I think that's it for life updates and stuff. I can't really think of anything else that has happened. I just know, like, work wise, things have still things were slow, but over the last couple of weeks, I'm starting to ramp up because we're getting the kind of refresh season, I guess I would call it, where I've been preparing the space in our work area because we have close to 400 desktop PCs coming, like 500 plus laptops, like over a dozen like big towers, PC towers, um, and yeah, just a lot of equipment. Like I think well over 1,000 pieces of computer equipment coming in the within the next few weeks to a month. So just making sure I have the proper space allocated and just getting things ready to inventory and store all that stuff. So, and just for a reminder for those of y'all that are like, man, what does Robert do? I work in IT within the medical field. So I basically provide a lot of the computer hardware for a lot of clinics and urgent cares across the city metroplex that I live in here in DFW. So, yeah. So I think it's like over 300 something locations, I think. And so I prepare a lot of the hardware that go out to a lot of those respective locations and stuff. So yeah. So, but other than that, like I said, life is life. Family overall is doing pretty good. School is going good for the kids. You know, it's still just freaking crazy, insane schedule. Like I said, getting up, taking some of my kids early in the morning for different practices and trainings, and then taking them back to school, and then driving my commute to work, then getting off, and then doing the same thing, picking them up from school or picking them up from after school practices, and yada yada yada. So, but that's family. And that's just how things go. But let's go ahead and dive into a couple of quick news beats I wanted to mention real quick. Okay, so first up, I want to kind of just shout out a couple of upcoming events that some of y'all may want to put on your radar. So the first one I want to shout out is it's called the Magical Girls Festival. It is a free event that is being presented by Victoria, who is the host of the Sailor Moon Fan Club podcast. She is putting together this event. It will take place September 28th from noon to 8 p.m. at Japan Village in Brooklyn, New York. I'm going to try to do my best to remember to put a link in the description below for anybody that might be interested in going to that event, but definitely wanted to shout that out. Once again, that is Magical Girls Festival, Saturday, September 28th, Japan Village in Brooklyn, New York. So, event details: the Magical Girls Festival is a day-long celebration of magical girls from Sailor Moon, Card Captor, Sakura, Precure, Tokyo Mew Mew, and more. A free one-day ticket will be filled with over 20 vendors selling goods inspired by Magical Girl anime. There will also be activities like guided journaling with sheets created by Jackie A and Magical Girl Movement and Mobility classes by Geek Girl Strong's Robin Warren. along with giveaways and musical performances. So check that out. Another one that is coming up this weekend. So depending on when you might listen to this episode, this event might have come and gone. But I'm looking into this event because it was put on my radar coincidentally twice. Once by Blandame podcast, they were kind of looking through conventions, Texas conventions, Dallas conventions and stuff, because they're also here in DFW on their last podcast episode, and they happened to mention this event. And then funny enough, like a couple of weeks later, my wife sends me a link on Instagram and was like, hey, you should check this out. Same thing. So this is called Blerd Bash Dallas. I've never heard of this event, but it will be taking place this weekend, September 14th, at the I Compete Experience in Louisville, Texas. It looks like it's going to be Saturday and Sunday, but it just has like 4 p.m. to 2 a.m. So, but yeah, so I don't know. I'm kind of looking into this. It seemed like it might still be, like a fairly newer event. So, yeah, I don't know. I might check it out because I know when I looked at tickets, whatever, tickets were very affordable, which is definitely very appealing. Looks like they're going to have a Tekken 8 tournament as well with prizes, vendors. Okay, so I'm gonna have to look into this, but like I said, like the ticket prices and stuff looked up my alley, very affordable. Actually, let me pull it up real quick because I think, yeah, a regular general admission is $25. So hey, can't really beat that. They also got a nice little 4-pack general admission, so 4 tickets for $80. Yeah, so they got some like I said, very affordable prices. So, but yeah, so I may or may check that out. We'll see. Y'all will know if I talk about it on the next podcast episode or not. Next up, I wanted to shout out or remind people that the Dan to Dan anime is getting its 3-episode premiere in theaters this weekend as well. Unfortunately, it is like a super limited run to where it's only for these 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the 13th through 15th. And unfortunately, it's only the sub, which I don't have a problem with. But I was originally going to take my middle son, who's a preteen, because he's the main one of the household. That's obviously from my wife that is also really big into anime. So I was like, you know what? He's kind of at a okay enough age to where I think this might be a fun thing to go see. But since it's not dubbed, I don't know how enjoyable that would be for him sitting there for an hour and a half trying to read subs and keep up and stuff, whatever. So I don't know. I wish that they at least had the option for a dub showing. Maybe there is one, but from all the theaters I saw around here, everything was just a sub. So, but we'll see. So next piece of news is a unfortunate piece of news. The legend James Earl Jones has passed away. I believe he was 93 years old. And for me personally, of course, his resume is extremely long. But for me personally, obviously, most people probably know him as obviously the voice of Darth Vader in Star Wars. And for me and my life growing up, it was the voice of Mufasa in The Lion King. So, and of course, I have both a Blu-ray of Lion King, and I also still have the original VHSs from when I was a kid of The Lion King, but they are in a box on the other side of the house, so I'm not gonna be going to get those at this time of night. But yeah, just wanted to just pay condolences to the legend, because like I said, like he was involved with a lot of projects over his career and tenure, and when you hear the name James Earl Jones, for different people, it definitely will bring up different memories and things of that nature. But like I said, for me, number one is definitely Mufasa in The Lion King. But rest in peace to the legend. You will be always remembered. And last thing news-wise I wanted to touch on as I close some of these tabs is, let me see if I can pull it up. Destiny, the video game, just celebrated its 10th anniversary yesterday, so 9/9/2014. And it is wild to really think about, like, it's really been a decade since Destiny, the original OG Destiny, came out, and just kind of reflecting on my time with the game and just where I was in life at the time, because that was before I had, I was married and had my current family and kids and all this stuff. I was just freshly moved out on my own, working my first big career job and all that stuff. And I also just went through an incident where my first apartment I ever lived in by myself got robbed, and all of my game consoles and stuff was stolen. But I managed to get a new PS4 just in time for Destiny, because this was kind of the game on my radar of like, man, I gotta save up money and get another PS4 before Destiny comes out. And I did. I was there at launch. Heck, I was even there. I think I got to play the beta before. Yes, because I believe the alpha and stuff happened back during E3. So, yeah. So I got to play the alpha and stuff a little bit before my PS4 got stolen. and along with my PS4, I had a gold 3DS Zelda edition, and I had a limited edition, the white Assassin's Creed Liberations PlayStation Vita. All that stuff gone to the wind. Sorry, just very, very, very crazy memories there. But yeah, man, like, Destiny has definitely had its ups and downs. I definitely don't keep up with it and follow it the way I used to back in the beginning, but it definitely had an impact. It definitely has been fun, because even when I do kind of dabble back in here and there, it is always just fun to move around and to play and to shoot and stuff in these games. And I did really appreciate originally the original yearly expansion cadence. That's when I would play it for maybe a couple of months, whatever, kind of go away, and then when the next expansion is rolling around, get back into it, play for a while, rinse and repeat. But then obviously, in the last few handful of years, as they went to a more seasonal model and during these like weekly updates and story stuff and yada yada yada, it was just too much for me to keep up with, so I just kind of fell off of it. But still a decade long, man, still something crazy to admire. So yeah, so much respect to Bungie and to Destiny, even though there is a lot of chaos going on over there now at the studio and stuff. But all right, so switching over to gaming stuff. So things worked out this week timing wise where I could kind of talk about this stuff. So I'm gonna kind of just briefly touch on some of this stuff, because I'm gonna do more in-depth things on a couple of these things. But just wanted to shout out that we officially got the reveal of the PlayStation 5 Pro. It will be coming out November 7th, day before my son Vash's birthday. And it will retail for a whopping $700. they're talking about it's going to have a upgraded GPU. So supposedly 67% faster GPU, 28% faster memory, advanced ray tracing, AI upscaling. It's also going to have a 2 terabyte SSD. It's going to support Wi-Fi 7 if you have that type of network infrastructure to make use of that. And yeah, there's going to be some PS5 Pro game boost stuff that will automatically kind of enhance a lot of the backwards compatibility games from PS4 and PS5 and all that jazz and stuff. So, but oh, and there is also no disk drive in this model. So pretty much, this is just continuing the same kind of design that they did with the PlayStation 5 Slim that they released last year, where they had the removable disk drive or whatever. So yeah, so out the box, this will not come with a disk drive. If you already have a PS5 Slim with a disk drive, you can just take it off of that, slap it onto this. Otherwise, if you want a disk drive for this, that'll be an extra $80 on top of this. So, with all that being said, I personally am not interested. Well, let me rephrase this. I'm interested from the tech side of it because, like I said, I work in IT. I love getting new gadgets and playing around with stuff, whatever, new technology and stuff, whatever. So, but I just personally, with where I am in life right now, cannot justify $700 for, at least for what's on paper with this system. Now, this is one of those things where it's like, hey, you know, for I know a lot of bigger creators and different things like that that have the bigger reach or whatever. It's like, hey, most of them get this stuff for free or whatever. So who knows, maybe by the time the PlayStation 6 come out, your boy will be big enough to where Sony be like, you know what, that Dennis Talk guy, we're gonna give him something to talk about. Send him a PlayStation 6. But yeah, but nah, like I said, hopefully at some point down the road, I wouldn't mind getting one because, you know, I would like to give my base PS5 to my kids, you know, kind of let them have having a second one, and then I get the more powerful one. But as far as like currently, it's not something I'm even gonna entertain trying to get at launch, whatever. So this is something that is just like down the road if things work out timing wise, where I happen to have an extra $700 or whatever. So, but otherwise, the next console that I'm gonna really be putting any money towards will be next year, whenever the next Nintendo Switch successor comes out. So that would be the next like gaming device. It would be a must-have at launch for me. Anything else, it'll just be a wait and see approach with stuff. So, but yeah. So, like I said, just wanted to shout that out and talk about that briefly with the PlayStation 5 Pro officially revealed after all this time, because it's been so many freaking rumors and whatnot for years at this point. But just glad that it's finally being revealed. So, moving on from there, game wise, so Vampire Survivors finally came to PlayStation 5, and I think PlayStation 4 a few weeks ago, whatever. And so this is a game that obviously I've heard about for the last couple of years, but despite me hearing so much about it, whatever, I've never really even, I think I've maybe seen like a couple of screenshots here and there, but I've never really watched like extended gameplay from what I can remember. But like I said, I know it's been like a cultural phenomenon, just for it having like a addictive, yet simple gameplay loop, but also because of how affordable it is. Because the game is only $5, and then they've put out tons of expansions, and each of those expansions are $2-3 a piece, whatever, and stuff. So it comes in at a very appealing price point. Which, let me see if I can find So the game kind of has like a top-down view to where it like pretty much is kind of like I don't know if auto battler is the right term for it, but basically all of your attacks and stuff happen automatically on timers. Kind of like so long time listeners of Daddy Should Talk, on one of my very first podcast episodes back in the day, I talked about this game called Loop Hero, to where same thing, the character just kind of did stuff on its own or whatever, and you just selected upgrades and different things like that. Which now I'm talking about, I kind of want to go back and play Loop Hero, but anywho, so with Vampire Survivors, like I said, you get different characters that have different unlocks and abilities that change what type of attacks and stuff. And basically, it's just a survive these waves of enemies and stuff as long as possible. So, but yeah, so like I said, I finally checked it out. It is super fun, super addicting. Even though it's been out on PC for a long time. It was even on, I think, on Xbox Game Pass for a while. It was on Nintendo Switch for a year or so. But hey, it finally came to PlayStation or whatever. So, but yeah, so I had fun playing it. And shout out to them for putting in local co-op. I'm always happy anytime I see a game that has local co-op. Just like I talked about a few weeks ago with Cat Quest 3. Super fun game. Me and my son love playing that together. And so me and Vash were also playing through Vampire Survivors together as well. So just a very fun time. Now, speaking of stuff, me and Vash have been playing through together. So, star game in the Daddy to Talk household is Astro Bot. So, Astro Bot came out last Friday. I managed to even snag the limited edition controller, mainly for Vash, but I got it right now. Just because this is a game that we have been collectively looking forward to for some years at this point. Because for those of you who do not know, Astro Bot is a 3D platformer game, kind of like a Mario Odyssey style game, but it is centered around the legacy of PlayStation and kind of gaming in general, but primarily focused around PlayStation and its history and stuff. So those of y'all watching the YouTube version of the podcast, I'm just showing a little bit of my gameplay and stuff from the game, just kind of running around doing stuff. Uh, but yeah, man. So we played the Astro's Playroom is free. So if you're a PlayStation 5 owner, Astro's Playroom is free. For the most part, I think most of the time it's already pre-downloaded to the system, but it was originally just a tech demo to show off the features and stuff of the new DualSense controller, but it also ended up being a very dope homage to PlayStation history. And so so when they said that, hey, we're gonna flesh this out into a full game, it's been Countdown City since my son found out about it. And so I appreciated it throughout the summer. They were updating the original Astro's Playroom and adding in new hints and new characters to find and stuff, whatever. And they added a new secret room where they added all the new PlayStation accessories that have come out since the PS5 launch. So, like the Portal, the new headphones, the accessibility controller, the VR2 headset, all that stuff, and another secret room within that had a countdown to the launch of Astro Bot. And so practically every day for a good couple of months. Before the day was over, Vash would ask, hey, Daddy, can we go look at the timer? So we would boot up the game, go into that room and stuff, whatever. So, and I wish I would have recorded it, but it was a super awesome celebration thing that they did for the launch of the game. And so, yeah, so we played through Astro Bot all freaking weekend. Like, man, I took off of work Friday and played it during the day a little bit while everybody was going to work and going to school. and then I beat the main campaign over the weekend. It took me about 10 to 13 hours or so, roughly, but that's with me trying to complete as much as possible along the way because I am now going to slowly start working my way towards getting the platinum trophy in the game. But it's been just like a super fun and joyous time. I am like I am beyond floored with some of the levels and the callbacks and stuff. Like just like a little tease. There's a couple of levels that are themed around some of my favorite games, like God of War, Uncharted, Horizon, and things like that. And so it is super awesome. And even in this little gameplay I'm showing on the screen right now, whatever, I had unlocked the hunter's outfit from Bloodborne costume. So I've been rocking that pretty much since I had originally got it and stuff. So, but man, it has just been such a fun game and so joyous to play. And this is one that, I would say it is definitely very kid friendly. Of course, everybody's kid and stuff is different, but, like I mentioned before, like Vash has been gaming since he was pretty much 3. Because the original Astro's Playroom came out when he was 3, so that was kind of like one of his first big quote unquote games he got into, whatever. But yeah, but Astro Bot, it threads the needle nicely to where for the most part you and your kid can both get through the game pretty okay. There is some level of challenge, but as far as just like a basic baseline of just hey finishing the story and stuff, then that is easy to get through. But there is these extra layers of challenge if you want to 100% all the worlds, all the levels. There's even these like what I'm showing right now, these extra uh challenge levels and stuff that you can go to for higher difficulty gameplay and stuff, whatever. So, but yeah, but all in all, though, Astrobot has been just such a joy to play, and it just really made me feel just very happy and just made me smile ear to ear. And I'm very glad that, and I've talked about this before about how in recent years, especially in the last decade since I stopped working at GameStop, I've really tried to minimize my exposure to a lot of media and stuff on a lot of games, especially stuff that I know for sure, hey, I'm gonna play this day one. Like prime example, like okay, hey, if there's a new Uncharted, if there's a new God of War game, whatever the case may be, stuff like that, that I know for sure, hey, I will be there day one to play, then I might watch the initial trailer, maybe a second one, but for sure, maybe at least just the first initial trailer. And then after that, I don't need to see nothing else because, especially nowadays, for one, I talk about this with movies all the time. These companies spoil so much stuff in trailers and stuff that it's like, man, like, why did I even watch that or whatever? I know the whole plot of it. And so I stayed, I watched like the original reveal trailer for Astrobot, and then after that, I hadn't really watched anything else from it since then. And it was so amazing to get to just play through this game and get to these different levels and different areas and just see all the different cool, different gameplay mechanics and fun stuff that they were doing. Like, so like the hidden characters that you're collecting and different stuff. So it was just truly, it's truly been a joy to go through and to play uh, over these last few days, and I look forward to playing through it for quite a while to come. So now to make a hard pivot uh, in topics. So with the birth and the release of Astrobots came the death of another game. My beloved Concord got shut down. So, to make a long story short, because I'm gonna do a separate, longer discussion on this that might only be on YouTube. I don't know, but I'll do that in the coming weeks. But long story short, last Monday or Tuesday, they came out and they were just like, "Hey, Concord is shutting down this Friday, and everybody's getting a full refund while we kind of reassess some things." So here's the announcement. Concord fans, we've been listening closely to your feedback since the launch of Concord on PlayStation 5 and PC, and want to thank everyone who has joined the journey aboard the North Star. Your support and the passionate community that has grown around the game has meant the world to us. However, while many qualities of the experience resonated with players, we also recognize that other aspects of the game and our initial launch did not land the way we planned. Therefore, at this time, we have decided to take the game offline on September 6th and explore options, including those that would better reach our players. And so, yeah, so Concord is no more. And it was a mad scramble at the end for, people trying to get the platinum and stuff. Because originally, I was planning on long term, slowly chipping away at the game, and eventually, many months from now, trying to get the platinum. But sadly, that didn't come to be. And I really enjoyed this game, truth told. And I know a lot of people were doing like crazy grind sessions and doing all types of stuff, whatever, to try to expedite getting XP and stuff at the end, which I tried to do that at first, but then like after like doing it like a few times, I was like, I don't want this to be my last memory of the game is doing all this crazy stuff just to try to get the trophies or whatever. I'd rather, hey, I just play it at my leisure as I can this final week, and it is what it is. And yeah, so Concord is no more. And so, like I said, I know in the broader scope, you know, there were bigger long term problems with the game, but at its heart, at its core, it was one that I really enjoyed, as I've talked about before in a couple other episodes previously in the last month. And like, man, like there was so much stuff built into this game, so much um, lore and stuff that they had put into the game, like character backstories, so much in-depth stuff that is like, man, I would love to have seen like so much of this stuff, just fleshed out more over time. But sadly, we will not uh, get to see that come to fruition. And hey, if Concord somehow manages to come back someday, whatever, cool. I will be here, excited to play it or whatever. But but for what it is, hey, I was here in the time I put in about 30 hours in the couple of weeks that it was out. So that kind of shows, as somebody with as busy of a life that I have or whatever, that I was still able to get 30 hours within a couple of weeks, within the time of it being out, says a lot for my personal enjoyment of the game and stuff. So, but I do truly wish that, that it maybe had like a single player mode and stuff. 'Cause like I said, like going through that galactic guide and just seeing some of the different stuff with the game, it was like, man, like this looked so freaking this, like it had so much potential for world building and story and stuff. But it is what it is. So farewell, Concord. You will be missed by me and stuff. So, but I do hope that team either gets another shot at playing, not playing at maybe doing something new with Concord, or at least getting a chance to do something else. So, a second game or something. But we'll see, But just wanted to kind of touch on that very briefly before I wrap up the gaming news stuff. So, And the last thing I'm gonna say too regarding Concord as well, that was kind of on my mind with the timing of it going away, is that the timing of it for Sony and stuff, whatever, works to their benefit to try to like, hey, we're gonna like try to bury this very quickly because you, like I mentioned, the game was scheduled to go offline right around as Astro Bot was getting ready to come out. So you have this new game, Astro Bot, about to release that has a lot of hype and fanfare around it. And then you have now the PlayStation 4 Pro reveal. And then also they're ramping up for the 30th anniversary of PlayStation Celebration later this month. And PlayStation also is going to be coming to a Tokyo Game Show for the first time in many years. So a lot of things building up to like, let's kind of bury Concord beneath this flood of news and new releases and different stuff, whatever. And it is what it is. But I'll just say farewell Concord, farewell Space Magic, because that is what my son called the game. Anytime he saw me booting up, he was like, "Oh, Daddy, you're about to play Space Magic." So that is definitely something I will always cherish for myself, just like that piece of a memory with my son and him cheering me on as I'm playing through some multiplayer matches and kind of barely making it through by the skin of my teeth and stuff. So, but farewell Concord, like I said, I will remember you. If I had money to blow, I would definitely have picked up one of those limited edition controllers just because I wanted the controller anyways. And then literally a few days or a week later, they announced they were also doing the Astro Bot one. And I'm like, well, I got the Spider-Man 2 one for myself last year. I'll give my son one so he kind of has, his own things, especially with how much he loves Astro Bot and stuff. So, but anywho, so that's that for that stuff. So I'm going to touch on very briefly some anime stuff, which this is going to be very short because I've only been watching one anime for the last few weeks, or the last couple of weeks, I guess I would say, because I am weeks, and I mean literally weeks behind on all my other anime stuff. Because let me look through my Annie listing real quick. Let's see. I am 3 episodes behind on All This Sometimes Harder Feelings. An episode behind on I Pair Everything. 3 episodes behind on Too Many Heroines. 4 on No Longer Allowed in Another World. 5 on Elusive Samurai. 2 on Wistoria. 3 on Dungeon People. 8 episodes on, well, I kind of stopped watching that, but 5 episodes on Code Geass, which that's already wrapped up. So yeah, so your boy is behind on the current season of anime because I finally dived into watching Welcome to Demon School, Iruma-Kun. So this is one that I think I maybe watched the first episode of maybe like last year or something, or earlier this year, I can't remember, because one of my online mutuals, Yato, or maybe Knox, or maybe both of them, I've heard good discussion about this series, and so I'm like, okay, I've heard good things about it or whatever, kind of want to check it out or whatever, and so, of course, obviously, since it's dubbed, makes it very easy to kind of relax and unwind while watching it and stuff, so yeah, so that's what I've been doing. So I'm already on season 2. I think I'm 13 episodes into season 2, so I'm halfway through season 2, and there are currently 3 seasons out right now, and the manga is currently in like the 300 plus chapter wise, so still going good and strong. So the basic premise for Demon School Iruma is basically Iruma is this 14-year-old human who had terrible parents that didn't really care for him and just made him work all the time, whatever, even as a young teen. Well, they ended up selling him to a demon who this demon wanted a grandchild of his own. So he ended up signing a contract with the parents and paying them. And now Iruma is the grandchild of this great demon who actually is like a big demon in this world, or a big named figure, who is also the headmaster of the school he goes to and all this stuff. But basically, the basic premise is just this human kid gets taken to this demon world, and his adventures with the different characters that he meets along the way and situations that he gets in or whatever. And I will say that overall, this has been a very fun and wholesome watch, because on paper or on the surface, like Iruma is what is the term people say? Like, he wears his heart on his sleeve. He is very honest. If you ask him for help, he cannot deny your request for the most part. He will do his best to help you, to support you, and do everything he can. And so it's been very fun seeing this cast of characters slowly build up around him. And honestly, in a way, kind of reminds me a little bit, in some ways, similar vibes to like early My Hero Academia, to where Deku was a very fun and relatable character that slowly built these connections with these people in his class and in his surrounding and his community and stuff. And so that's kind of how things have been going with this. And so as I'm in season 2 now, whatever, we started kind of getting a little bit more into Aruma potentially developing more demon, some potential demon abilities and different things like that. So yeah, I'm not gonna go too much into it or whatever, but overall, like I said, it has just been a very fun watch. So like I said, I look forward to finishing up season 2 and then making my way to season 3, and then who knows if, you know, if that might lead me to checking out the manga down the road or not. I don't know. But speaking of manga and Iruma, so another kind of force to kind of help push me into diving deeper into into watching more of Iruma is the author of Iruma is Osamu Nishi. She, like I said, is the mangaka of that. And so this past week, we had a new series get announced for Shonen Jump that will be, the story will be written by Nishi, the author of Welcome to Demon School Iruma, and the art will be done by Shiro Usazaki. Now, you might not recognize that name, but if you have ever heard of the manga Actage that met a very unfortunate early end back around 2020, she was the artist of that series. But of course, the author of the series got into some very bad legal stuff for doing stuff with, I think, a teen or something crazy. So the manga got shut down, rightfully so. But of course, the art in it was so freaking amazing. So for years, you know, she's done some projects here and there, but people have been waiting for her to get another chance to come back and do something big. And so it seems like that moment is here as we get Ichi the Witch. So obviously I'm not going to show all of it, but just want to show this cover art page. So it basically follows this young boy who is a hunter. And long story short, this first chapter kind of covers the basic setup of this world, where this is a world of magic, and if I'm remembering it right, make sure I don't get it mixed up with another series I'm gonna talk about in a second. But magic is alive in a sense, or manifests into like these different beasts and creatures, and so witches can basically kind of like tame or defeat them, and then earn their powers or gain their abilities or whatever. But there was this one crazy, I think they're called magic creature or whatever, that, long story short, ended up can only be taken down by a guy, which led to this situation or whatever. So, but so the first chapter is out. It'll be coming out every Sunday with, the traditional Shonen Jump lineup and stuff. So, like I said, the first chapter was solid. Didn't hook me as much as the next one I'm gonna talk to, but it was solid enough to where I'm like, okay, let's see where this might go. Because like I said, especially with how much I've been enjoying Welcome to Demon School Aruma, and hearing how much even greater it is with where it is currently in the manga. So it'd be kind of interesting to see what the author can do in this series and stuff. So Ichi the Witch, new series on the block in Shonen Jump. So another new series from a storied author, and this one literally just got announced or revealed and released a few hours ago. So this one is called Hen Wizards. Now, this series is done by, let me get the name. It is done by the author that goes by the name of Yellow Tanabe, who was the author of a series that I enjoyed in my youth called Kekaishi. A lot of y'all might remember this aired on Toonami way back in the day. But that manga ran from early 2000, ran from 2004 to 2011. But anywho, so this new series, Hen Wizards, just released, like I said, a few hours ago today, as I'm recording this. And I'm just chilling at the house, whatever, and I get a notification, whenever like Viz and Shonen Jump, all that stuff drops new chapters, whatever. It's like, hey, new series in Viz manga from the creator of Kekaishi. I was like, whoa. Wait, what? What is this? And so the basic setup for this is, or the tagline for this is, a young boy must live in exile, lest his deadly magical powers destroy the world. So this first chapter, for me personally, hooked me more than, or I guess hooked me stronger than Ichi the Witch. And so, so the premise of this is basically, this is a world of wizards and stuff. So kind of like magic, kind of like Ichi the Witch, but different though, to where it kind of starts off with this young boy who has amnesia, can't really remember who he is, where he's from, yada, yada, yada. And he ends up in this, the yard of this wizard. And so this first chapter does a really good job of kind of, within, it was like 60 something page, like 68 pages, really kind of like setting up immediately a little bit of like the world structure. This main first wizard, I can't remember his name yet, but getting some stuff set up with him and learning like, okay, he's one of these like 7 legendary wizard figures and stuff, and how things are kind of structured in this world. And we kind of slowly over the chapter get a little bit more hints and teases and stuff of, okay, who is this kid, what has he been through, why is he here, yada yada yada. And so then we kind of get some Zimu, that's the wizard's name, Zimu. And so we kind of start to get like a little bit more layers of things peeled back and revealed for, okay, what the origin of this kid is, how he ended up here, and the greater state of the world and stuff. So, but yeah, so this one, Hen Wizards, was a pretty strong first chapter, like I said, for me. And so it's going to be very interesting to see, because I even though I haven't watched Kekaishi since I was a kid, I could still feel similar vibes from like how the mix of serious moments and with a little bit of like comedy a little bit kind of sprinkled in with some of the characters and different things going on. fun antics and stuff happening, but when it's serious stuff going on, it's serious stuff going on. But anywho, I just really enjoyed the flowing stuff of this chapter, and like I said, the fact that as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, I need to make sure I read and knock this out before I record tonight and stuff. So, but yeah, just wanted to put this on your radar. Like I said, this is on the Viz manga app. And fun other because I always love learning the history and lineage of a lot of authors and stuff, and so it was cool learning that the mangaka Yellow Tanabe, she was also started out her career as a assistant on Zatch Bell back in the day before she went on to make Kekkaishi, a couple of one shots and stuff. And then this Birdman is a series that I've never heard of, but wrapped up back in 2020, went for 80 chapters, 16 volumes long. So who knows, maybe this might get brought over as well. Um, but either way, I'm rambling now, but just wanted to shout out both of those new manga. So a couple other things I want to shout out as well. I think it's called Hokkaido Girls are Super Adorable. That manga ended yesterday or today with 119 chapters. I had watched a little bit of the first season of the anime, and I enjoyed what I saw. I just needed to go double back and finish it up like a lot of things. So, but yeah, that finished up. This other manga I was reading called Shoujo No, that also finished up last week, I think. Uh, Another manga I checked out. So this was volume one of this. Let me see if I can find where I had talked about this. Forgive me. Okay, so I checked out this series called Sword of the Demon Hunter Gentosho. So this is one that I kind of been eyeing for a while just because the cover art for this is beautiful, always catches my attention. And so, but I was I'll circle back to it, circle back to it or whatever. And so when I was, I think I was at the mall. I was killing time at Books a Million while my kids was doing something or whatever. And so I happened to see this series again. I was like, oh yeah, that is one. I was been meaning to check out or whatever. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll get to it. And so I was just searching on YouTube to see if anybody else, what the conversation and stuff was. And kind of find out there was a anime already announced for which apparently I already knew because when I went to go edit on my Annie list, I already had it marked as planned to watch. So apparently I saw it in passing at some point and forgot about it. But anywho, I got so interested again, so I was like, you know what? I know what it was. My daughters had basketball practice, so I had a couple hours to kill. So I ended up just going ahead and just buying the first volume and reading it all while I was waiting, and I really enjoyed it. The so basically the kind of setup for this is that Kenji is a demon hunter, kind of like Tanjiro and Demon Slayer, but the interesting hook on this is that it seems like his story will traverse time. And what I mean by that, and this is mild spoilers, but just for like the setup of it or whatever, is that this like near the early part of the volume, we kind of see a modern day young girl or whatever who is kind of like being trained for like being like the maiden of this shrine and yada yada yada. And then this guy who ended up being Kenji comes up, talks to her, whatever, and then we basically kind of get like some like a monologue from the young lady talking about like her family has a history with this shrine, and then this guy showing up was kind of like the starting point of her learning about who he is, the importance of the shrine, and his journey across many generations as he vows to, I guess, like defeat this big demon or something, whatever, while also protecting this family and this shrine and stuff. And so it was like I said, just like had like a very interesting hook on that very beginning part, and then we kind of get to slowly see and learn more about Kenji and the role that he's in and stuff like that. So, but yeah, like I said, I don't know, it was just very cool, and it just like I said, just really grabbed my attention. And so obviously, like I said, like the art of the cover is very good, very striking. And then like yeah, like I said, like this line, his story, his long 170-year journey. When I saw that line, I was like, okay, yeah, I need to know what is going on. But the art in it is like super good, looks super clean. And I even like some of the demons and stuff, and some like the mystery surrounding his sister that he's protecting on the cover of the volume. But yeah, so this is definitely one that I was like, okay, I'm glad I circled back to check this out, and I look forward to um, either reading more if I get to it, or maybe even, like I said, just waiting for the anime whenever that comes out. But yeah, I definitely had to shout out that one and show some love to that one. So, all right, so I'm gonna knock out these last few things, whatever. I'm just kind of touch on these very, very briefly. But okay, so for these next few things, make sure to skip around for timestamps and stuff, whatever, because I'm gonna like very briefly touch on like some mild spoilers for a few things, whatever, like some very surface level. But I need to talk about a few of these series. So first up, freaking so Kaiju number 8 done got interesting again. So y'all know my history with the series was like super strong for a good chunk of the early part of it, and then after what's his name, the kind of like head guy situation happened. I'm trying to spoil super hard, but basically got or whatever. I was kind of I liked it for a bit, then I soured on it for like a good year, and then recently this year with the anime coming back, or with the anime started, it made me kind of wanted to circle back to the manga, and I kind of been enjoying things, but this most recent chapter, so Kaiju number 8, chapter 113, we are finally getting some in-depth lore stuff with the series, it seems like. So we kind of got like a little tease to where it seems like Kafka finally beat number 9, but then he kind of pulls them into kind of just like mind effery into like this kind of like ancient time battleground thing, and we kind of start to hear him talking about the parasite thing that originally took over Kafka's body back in episode or chapter 1. Because from my memory, we haven't really touched on that thing once since that happened at the beginning. So it's okay, we're about to get something with this, but then we also in this chapter had what felt kind of like I'm gonna call it like a Kaguya slash Madara moment from Naruto, to where hey, yeah, we beat Madara, he was the bad guy, and then nope, here comes another crazy, more powerful villain or whatever. And so that's kind of like the situation it seems like we're in right now with Kaiju number 8. But I would just say I am thoroughly intrigued now to see where things is gonna go from here. But yeah, that was some really good stuff, and I look forward to finding out more on that. Next up, very briefly, Sakamoto Days. So it feels like, and I love the vibe of this if they pull it off right, but it feels like Sakamoto Days is about to go into what I'm calling a impale down type of arc, where we have the JAA jail, and it is a 3-layer underground facility where obviously just like impale down in One Piece, where the lowest level has the craziest criminals and stuff. But yeah, so we kind of have Shin and the sniper dude, I can't remember his name, Kisuke, I think, having to go in here to track down this kind of like a Esper fortune teller person or whatever to kind of help Shin train his abilities and stuff, whatever. And I will say that from the most recent chapter that came out yesterday or this week or whatever, I loved the fact that this fortune teller person, or whatever, is a girl. Well, not that she's a girl, but that her name is Atari. That was like such a dope name reveal and stuff. But I like that. But yeah, so I look forward to seeing how this arc is going to go and to play out and stuff. So, and like already, man, like getting some very dope prison fight scenes and stuff. Whatever this last chapter, like this series is just like so top notch, and I truly hope that the anime is able to do it some type of justice. And yeah, I hope the anime is able to do it some type of proper justice, just so that we can see these dope moments and stuff from the manga animated and stuff, whatever, man, because I really enjoy Sakamoto Days, and I hope that, you know, with the anime comes, it blows up the series and all that stuff. So briefly, this is not a spoiler thing, but I did also want to mention another new series that I haven't checked out yet, but I plan to. So y'all might remember a year or so ago, I read a couple volumes of this series called Momo the Blood Taker. Enjoyed what I read, definitely plan on circling back to finish it up. Well, the author of that has started a new series called Tokyo Fears Rhapsody. So very interesting stuff. Like I said, I really liked Momo the Blood Taker, and so this is another one, just like with Ichi the Witch and the Aruma Arthur, and then Kijin with the Kekaishi Arthur. So it's like, okay, we got all these mangaka from previous well-known works doing other newer stuff, whatever. So I'm very interested to see what that series is and how it turns out. So now back to the series that I'm reading. So these last couple I'm gonna kind of knock out quickly. Centuria. So Centuria is one that I've been reading and have enjoyed pretty much since it started. So, you know, it's up to chapter 22 now. And so we have had some big moments and big events happen in the series, because we can't have nice things for long in this series. But and just for a recap for people that might be new, so Centuria is the series where this young orphan boy meets this woman. Basically, he's on like a slave ship, a slave trader ship, whatever. He meets this woman who is pregnant, and long story short, things happen, and this like sea spirit deity thing, whatever, offers up, you know, either the lady's life or his life or whatever. And so the lady, during this time, whatever, the lady gave birth to a baby, and so she chose to sacrifice herself to give this boy and her child a chance to live or whatever. And so in exchange, the boy gains basically a kind of like immortality, but he gets like 100 lives or something crazy or whatever, and as well as like crazy strength and yada yada yada. So I'm saying all that to say that led us to our current situation where life has been good. He's met new people, found a new family, whatever. Well, these people from this kingdom or whatever came to the village trying to kill the baby and stuff because of a prophecy that was foretold that the baby would lead to, you know, calamity and yada yada yada. And so through the process of that, somebody that Julian, the main character, had got very close with, ended up getting taken out, and now he was in rage mode with chapter 22, fighting this dude that can basically control water slash liquids and stuff, whatever. And so like this chapter was freaking dope with the fights and stuff, whatever. Just like seeing Julian, just like eyes whited out, just like pure rage and anger and stuff, whatever. Like to the point to where, like I said, spoilers, like the dude like hardened his like water or blood whip or whatever, cut off Julian's arm. Julian's like, I don't care if my arm is gone. He grabs his detached arm and smacks the crap out of Arcos, the dude he's fighting, whatever. It's like the whole, it was super dope, just the whole fight or whatever. So, but yeah, Centuria, it is one like I said that I've been rocking with weekly since its release, and so I'm glad to see it continue to rock and to roll and stuff. So, but yeah, Centuria, super dope. Now, last series I'm gonna touch on before I get up out of here. I gotta talk about, man, freaking One Piece manga chapter 1125, 1125. What death means. Man, this chapter was just super crazy, super dope. Of course, I love world building and lore and all that stuff, and so like this chapter, just like seeing the shift change from, well, first of all, we see the remaining Vegapunks take the top part of Egghead Island and float it up further into the clouds and stuff, whatever, to kind of like take what they can and escape, whatever. And then in that or whatever, we have the moment where Garling, the kind of like the main, I can't remember his title or whatever, but long story short, we have a changing of the guard with the freaking five elders, to where Saint Saturn is seen as a failure for his blunder in letting Luffy and the Vegapunks and all this stuff get away from Egghead Island, and so Emu revoked his immortality, and now Garling, who seems like he has some type of relation to Shanks, or whatever, has now ascended to join the other elders as the new fifth elder. And so that moment was freaking insane. And then, of course, we got stuff building up with the Reverie and stuff, but or the not the Reverie, with the Revolutionary Army with Dragon and Sabo and all them. Hopefully, get ready to possibly finally make a freaking move. But all in all, it was like a super dope chapter, and I cannot wait for this next chapter. I don't know if we're going to get more lore and world building, more around the world stuff, or if we're going to finally just get right into them, get into Elbaf. I hope we get a little bit more world building stuff, but we shall see. So, with that being said, that is pretty much it for this episode of Danny's Talk. So, last thing I want to just show off, I finally got this thing in the mail. It has been a long time coming. The Trigun Deluxe Edition for the manga. So, funny enough, I forgot about this because this was originally supposed to come out sometime last year. And I think it was going to be like a yellow with like blue text, whatever. But it got delayed, so because I had pre-ordered it early because they had like a discounted price at the time. So like, I think it was like $30 or something crazy. It was like big discount. I think it's normally like 50 or close to 50. But I forgot about it over there because they delayed. And then I finally saw like my wife had ordered a bunch of stuff on Amazon, and I was like, hey, what is all this stuff you're ordering? And then I saw a $30 charge. I was like, what is this? And then it was like, oh, your order's shipped or whatever. Should be there today or tomorrow or whatever. And I was like, oh, okay, sure. And then I came home from work and hey, it was here. So yeah, so very happy to have this in the collection. I really wish I had proper space so that I could properly display this with, oh, shout out to my boy Vash. Properly display this with my older volumes of Trigun I have right up there. Um, but yeah, so I'm very happy to have this in my collection now. So I'll talk more about that another time, but I'm about to get out of here. It is pretty much midnight now, and it's been a while since I've done a podcast this long, but I'm very happy to be back, and I hope that somebody out there enjoyed the myriad of things I had to talk about today, because like I said, it was a very jam-packed episode with a lot of stuff top to bottom, from life and news and new games and anime and lots of manga stuff to talk about. So yeah, so as always, I appreciate everybody for checking me out, for all the love and support and stuff. You can find me everywhere at Danny to Talk. Feel free to hit me up. I love conversations, so my DMs are open on Instagram, Twitter. You can always go to Danny's Talk website as well if you want to reach me, email me, all that fun jazz. But as I always say, truly, truly, treat yourself to something nice. Read some manga, read some manga, watch some anime, TV shows, movies, and of course, play some video games and live your best life. And with that, I am out. Y'all have an awesome day and the rest of your week. And I will catch y'all in the next one. Y'all be easy. Peace. Lots of good stuff coming.